Where is the camera? Can I know it?
No, no, you look right at Tom. That'll be fine. Now here's Ayn Rand, who is the author, as I say, of The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged, and the other one I can't remember because it's a longer title.
Of a novel?
No, 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 not the novel, but the new book that you have out, Objectivist.
Introduction to Objectivist Epistemology.
Exactly. Now, you said that you wouldn't mind. Yes, we are. You said that you wouldn't mind if I didn't read that book. You told that to my staff.
That's right.
And I didn't. I confess that to you. I want to be very basic here because there are many people who don't understand objectivism, who don't know what it is, but who have read much about Ayn Rand and have read her books and kind of want to know where she's coming from, if I can use that phrase. So let's just basically say what objectivism is. Okay?
And make a long speech about it?
Oh, not too long, no.
No, because that's terribly difficult, you know. To begin with, it's a philosophy. Mm-hmm. It's a philosophic system. And philosophy is the science that studies the basic nature of existence. So it's a pretty technical subject. And anything I say briefly will not really do justice to my philosophy, but I can try to summarize it.
Well, can I ask you some specifics then about it?
Yes, sure.
All right. How does, quote, I fit into the philosophy of objectivism? How does objectivism relate to me, the individual? What does it do for me?
Are you a human being?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then it relates to you. It tells you how to lead your life and how to achieve things, how to be happy. It tells you the fundamental principles by which you can make your own choices. Above all, it tells you that you have the means to make these choices, that your mind is valid, that the reality you perceive really exists, and that is epistemology. Mm-hmm. That's a branch of philosophy, and then it tells you how to make by what principles to guide the basic choices of your life.
Now, there are many philosophies that would offer that to an individual.
Oh, yes.
There are religions that offer it. There are forms of government that offer it. How does...
Not forms of government. That's politics. That's a different branch. That comes later.
Well, yes, but governments in some areas, in some instances, would define for you choices or dictate to you how to live your life.
Yeah.
But I'll retract governments and just say religions are philosophies. How does objectivism differ from the philosophies that many of us have been exposed to in our youths? Philosophies based upon religions, theologians, dogmatists.
The very first difference, objectivism tells you that it is not right, it is not proper to man to take anything on faith. Religion is a matter of faith. You accept a religion emotionally or because you were born to it. You have not chosen it rationally. What objectivism will tell you is that reason, man's reason is his basic means of survival. That is the most important faculty which he has, and he has to guide his life and make his choices by means of his rational faculty. Mm-hmm. He has to make his own choices, but he has to know how to make them. It is immoral for him to act on his emotions, to be guided by the whim of the moment. That objectivism holds as very wrong, very immoral. And morality, in fact, consists of following your reason to the best of your ability. So that rationality is the basic virtue from which all the others proceed.
Now, then you believe this for yourself, do you not? You accept this philosophy.
Oh,
it has guided your life. It has...
Yes. It has brought me where I am.
Okay. So that you believe in Ayn Rand, first and foremost.
Oh, certainly.
Not necessarily a God or a heaven or a hell or a government or some other people or forces beyond your control, but you believe in you.
I wouldn't put it that way. I could say that, yes, it's true to some extent, but it's very inexact because it isn't a matter of faith. I have confidence in my own rational ability. But more than that, I also know that if I had less abilities than I have, no matter what happened to me, my mind is all that I have to guide me. So that if I were me or the lowest girl in the class mentally, which I never was, the same morality would apply to me.
How smart, you brought this up now, that you were not the dumbest girl in the class.
No.
How smart were you in school when you were a little girl?
Very.
Yeah?
I was the top student. I went to 2 different schools in 2 different cities, and I was the top student there.
In addition to being the top student, did they ever measure your intelligence and tell your mom and dad, oh, this girl is so bright, this girl is a jewel?
No, in my time they didn't have those tests, not in Russia.
But you knew that you were smart.
Oh, yes.
Did you feel that school was too slow, that
Yes.
you were so far ahead of the material?
Yes.
How did you handle that? How did you school yourself really beyond the curriculum or curricula
Is
in the
it
school?
of interest to tell you?
Yes, it really is.
I always tried to sit in the back row of a class, and I put a book in front of me, and I was writing novels from the age of 10. I was writing screenplays at 8, but I was writing novels in class because otherwise I would be terribly bored. I was never discovered because we had textbooks, and if you read ahead of the lesson that they present in class, you could know what the teacher said. Mm-hmm. I had to read the textbook just once, and then I knew the course. So I really think it had a bad influence on me, on my working discipline. It was too easy and too boring.
But how did it affect your working discipline?
I never had to make an effort. I certainly did have to when I began writing novels. That's really difficult. But in school, I had no difficulties.
How was writing novels difficult for you?
Because it's an enormous context that you have to keep in mind, an enormous structure. You can't do it inspirationally. You can't do it by just looking at the piece of paper once and deciding what you're going to do. It's a whole enormous structure, much more complicated than a building. And you have to keep it all in mind, never contradict your outline, and carry it out. It's killing difficult, but wonderful when you succeed at it. Mm-hmm. I mean a good novel, of course.
Do you recall what the first novel was you wrote when you were 10 years old, behind that book in the back row in school?
The very first one? I remember the first screenplay. Oh, the novel I never finished.
Oh.
Wait a moment. No, I did finish it. Yes, I remember it. The one I didn't finish, I started in college. I remember it, but don't make me tell you the plot.
No, I will not. But I would like to think that somewhere that manuscript is in a drawer in your house or in a box up in a closet.
It's probably bombed out of existence
Really?
in Leningrad.
So it exists then only in your mind, huh?
Yeah. I didn't bring it with me.
When did you discover or think up or allow objectivism to become your philosophy?
From the time that I remember myself, which is 2.5. The first incident in my life I can remember, I was 2.5. And from that time on to the present, I never changed my convictions. Only at 2.5, I didn't know as much as I know now. But the fundamental approach was the same. I've never had to change.
Why has it worked for you?
Because it's true. Because it corresponds to reality. Because it is the right philosophy. By true, I mean it corresponds to reality, therefore it permits me to deal with reality properly. And it, first of all, tells me I have to use my judgment, not my emotions, my judgment.
Why do you think that religions have attracted more people to their philosophies than objectivism has attracted people to its?
Well, first of all, they had much longer time. Now, remember, religion is older than objectivism. I don't think I would want to attract as many people as religions do, but the real and serious answer is this. Religion is a primitive form of philosophy, because what religion and philosophy have in common is that it's a system of background premises. It gives you a frame of reference, a context, in fundamental terms, and then you live the concretes of your life accordingly. So religion